Hello, I'm Dr. Neeta Deshpande, consultant diabetologist and obesity physician. I'm speaking today to you on behalf of Jagruti IMA Belgaum. The topic under discussion that has been given to me is about teleconsultation. Well, all of you at some time or the other, for some reason or the other, have contacted your doctors on telephone and taken prescriptions, taken advice over the years. All these days, this did not have a legal sanction. But in these corona times, with the fact that a lot of people may not be able to reach their doctors, the government of India legalized telemedicine on 25th of March 2020. So today we're going to see what exactly is teleconsultation, what could be the possible benefits, what are the rules and regulations that are there that have been laid down, what we call the guidelines. What could be the benefits of teleconsultation? Let us look at this in two parts. One, in the context of the corona pandemic, and secondly, teleconsultation on its own, the benefits in non corona times. If you had to go to any hospital, any clinic, for any reason, small or big, you always stand the risk of contracting the corona infection, the COVID 19, in these times. However much careful you are, however much care the hospital is taking with all the sanitization, there is always a risk. And this risk could come from the doctor himself or herself, or from the staff of that hospital or clinic, or from the patients who are in the waiting room or their relatives. So that is one part of it. The second part of it is that if you yourself have got the coronavirus infection and don't know it because you do not have the symptoms, you could stand the risk, or others stand to get the coronavirus from you and have a risk from you. What could be the benefits otherwise in this kind of a situation? Well, for non emergency things, say long standing diseases like diabetes or heart disease, where a simple follow up is required and it's not an emergency, teleconsultation can be of utmost benefit. For example, if a person is diabetic and has a glucometer at home, does his readings, and just wants to ask the doctor whether the doses should be increased or decreased and has no other complaints, teleconsultation is an ideal way of doing this. The other benefits of teleconsultation are that if somebody is coming from a very far off destination, there is no transport, especially during the rains, and is not able to make it, teleconsultation can be very, very important. This way, the patient saves time, saves effort, and saves money. Saves time also of coming and going, the time taken for that, and also the time spent in the waiting room. So, with all of these things, teleconsultation can be a boon for many. Well, there are certain rules that have been laid down by the government of India for conducting a teleconsultation. Any electronic form of communication with the doctor, it could be a simple SMS, it could be WhatsApp audio, or a simple call, or a WhatsApp video, or Skype, or email, or an electronic medical records platform. Any of these constitute what is called teleconsultation. By law, a doctor can charge the same thing, the same fees for a teleconsultation as he would charge in a face to face consultation. Thirdly, there has to be consent from both the sides, and both the sides have to identify themselves in a teleconsultation. Barring a few medicines, most of the usual medicines can be prescribed online by the doctor. So these are some of the rules and guidelines that have been laid down. The other thing is, there are certain practical tips that anyone who seeks teleconsultation should know before he ventures into this. One is that the telephone and the internet connection should be as good as possible when you are trying to contact your doctor. Secondly, one should make sure, the patient has to make sure that there's not too much of disturbance or noise in the background when you are talking to your doctor. Thirdly, the number that you contact your doctor on for a teleconsultation has to be by appointment, and it should not be used to keep on calling up the doctor or messaging the doctor on the same number at times other than the appointed time. And lastly, the patient who has sought the appointment should make sure that he or she is available at that time during which the appointment has been fixed. There are a few misconceptions, especially in these times, about teleconsultation. The first and foremost is that doctors want to sit in the luxury of their homes, charge fees, and do a teleconsultation from home. Nothing could be farther from the truth. The reason is that the benefits that I have just outlined are for the patients. In fact, the patients stand to benefit far more than the doctors do in a teleconsultation. The second misconception is that during this pandemic, doctors do not want to take the risk of sitting in their clinics and hence are sitting at home and doing the teleconsultation. Well, if that was the case, the government of India would not have legalized telemedicine. And it is not very easy for the doctors to sit at home and do a consultation when they would rather prefer to sit in their clinics and do it. So, this is about teleconsultation, the rules, the regulations, the benefits, and the do's and the don'ts. At the end, I would like to say that whether it is by teleconsultation or by a face-to-face consultation, your doctors are always there for you, at your service, and would do their utmost to make sure that you remain in good health. Thank you.